We're saying that one of the metrics we look at is the cost of living.
Yes.
We keep talking about the GDP, talk about inflation and the debt ratio. If the cost of living is high, if we are seeking to borrow again more than 1.1 trillion in this financial year, how do we turn around and say that yes, indeed, we have a proper finance bill? And yet, every day Kenyans are saying, one, the cost of living is unbearable, which we all agree. Everything has gone up. He said he's a farmer. You ask anybody, the cost of eggs is almost 20 bob, a basic food item.
Yes.
So how do we say that yes, this government is serving the interest of people? It's not about the government getting its way because the finance bill was passed. It is about the impact. There is what we call the expected value that you get from a legislation. Are you satisfied here today that this regime, this administration, is serving the interest of Kenya?
Let me answer that in a very nice, simple way. When we did not have a budget in 2024-2025, we lost 2 trillion in borrowing because we used what are they called, supplementaries all the way for the full financial year. Mm-hmm. We lost 2 trillion, so it was not making any sense to me. What we were trying to save is actually we lost double what we are actually going to borrow in this fiscal year. Come now 2026-2027 budget. Mm-hmm. So when we look at the finance bill, more of a government initiated process, we lose it because me and you are government. The debt burden we have in this country, which I want us to also be practical, is not going anywhere, and which affects even our international trade in terms of if we do not get some of the obligations right, it means even our own businesses. For instance, we have seen the MPs put tax on imported sugars and all that to protect our farmers. Some of the commodities like sugar are something we are not self-sufficient in. So is fuel, and so is even rice. The normal rice we get from where cannot feed our electorate, or rather cannot feed our country as it is. So we do a lot of importations that may be hindered or may have more implications to our common day meal on the table. So that the budget, and I see in the budget process that has come in 2026, government actually lost a lot in terms of the proposals from Treasury, from the finance docket. They lost to, for instance, even the KRA trying to collect some of the pending bills through the tribunals, and all MPs actually, the nays had the day. So government lost in terms of its ways of making money to sort out some of the debt issues.
Well, I hear that. However, it becomes difficult to have a conversation where it's not very factual. The president said in 2024 that we had sugar surplus in terms of production. Today, yes. Yeah. So there was no shortage in terms, and they even cancelled the allocation for importation. Yes. That's a fact. Today, we have farmers from where who are saying they have rice that they have not been able to offload to the market, and yet we are still a net importer of rice. So these facts they also factor in. And you're talking about the cost of living. If we were self-sufficiently producing for ourselves, some of these products would go down. But that's beside the point, because here we're looking at the financial policy. This bill is going to play out for the next 12 months. Yes. Today, they have passed a supplementary budget of 18 billion. Money they need to mop up in the next 2 weeks before they start spending the next load. So, from where you stand, government is you and I, it is true. So, government did not lose anything. The proposals were just ploys to try and get away with the bare minimum. The question is this: are we as Kenyans today? Because that, in my opinion, the most incompetent National Assembly we've had so far has failed us. When half of the MPs do not show up to participate, and we have sent them there to be our representatives, when they do not show up to participate on a matter that is going to affect how much you pay for fuel, how much you pay for food, how much you pay for school fees, how much capitation you're going to get, how much goes to each and every expenditure of our taxes, how can we sit down and say that the country has a finance bill that is fit for Kenyans?
The repercussions, I think what they are fearing is my small brother. The repercussions, I think, what most of them were fearing is the 2024-2025 scenario where most actually even lost their houses, although some were burnt down and all that. And also being very close to an election year, I think the abstinence was very loud, having cited what happened then. So
and does that not worry you?
It basically worries me, but again, also as an electorate, we have been very harsh at some point on them in terms of their legislation and all and what they do. So representation in this country now has to change in one way or the other, because I think they have, and basically government has to come up with a way of getting the locals, the mwananchi, on the table for them to do any discussion, because now it is not business as usual.
So come on. Yes, it is not business as usual. And Jimmy says we may not have much to do about the debt, but true, we can stop paying the odious debt. Money that we don't know, that it did not come to a consolidated fund, we can stop paying immediately as soon as today. And we'll see this